Hello. Welcome back to welcome back to the podcast. Let me take my ring off because it'll click. Hold on. It'll click the ring on the microphone. I've been told about it. Guys, how have you been? I am back. I'm better than ever. School is almost over. Major has been changed. Things are looking up. I was so anxious last night and I went on like a whole scroll on TikTok. I searched Hope Core School. I was struggling. I was really struggling, but it's okay. Guys, how are you? Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm kind of out of it. I don't know. Last podcast was like a pretty somber one. I was just kind of like trauma dumping on everyone. Anyway, this one should be a little more upbeat, hopefully full of wisdom. I know I said that I wouldn't be giving unsolicited advice on here, but this advice that I'm going to be giving later on is solicited. I have dilemmas to share with you guys from people, from you, from the viewers, from people. So if you want to submit some for maybe next podcast, my Instagram will be in the description, and then I'll post like another, hey, submit this. I'm gonna make an email that you guys can email for those types of things as well. But yeah. Anyway, what's been going on with me lately? School's almost done. I've been in like a weird place. I don't know. I've just been growing and changing and growing. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to get another job this summer. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to fulfill my barista dreams, hopefully. I've always wanted to be a barista. I just love coffee. I made a tweet today that said, my friend was like, post a tweet from your drafts and tag me in it. And the tweet I posted was, I want a relationship as strong as a bisexual woman's relationship with matcha and fine line tattoos. Girl, after I posted that tweet, I was like, oh, I need a matcha right bad. And I love fine line tattoos. I love them with my whole heart. I want to get so many tattoos, but I'm living with my grandpa right now, and I don't really want to get kicked out of the house. Now do I. Rent's too good. Rent's too good to get kicked out at the moment. So you just got to get them placed in different areas, you know, not quite visible to the eye. I'm gonna roll up with a tramp stamp in my next episode. Hey guys, got a tramp stamp today. No, things have been really good. I've been keeping my plants alive. I've been eating healthier. I've been making my own cold brew from home instead of getting a coffee every single day. Matcha, I haven't perfected the whole matcha thing yet. I really love my matcha sweet. I know I say I don't all the time, but I actually have come to realize about 15 minutes ago that I love sweet matcha. I just love it in my whole heart. It's like... Anyway. Anywho. Yeah, I changed my degree, or my major, to journalism. And then hopefully, you know, after I go through the whole prereq thing, I can like specify on film and media production. Hey. And then I can learn how to make better vlogs for you guys. I got a degree so that I could be a YouTuber. You know, just how the dream goes. No. I really just want to create more, and I know I've been saying that forever, but school is so much, guys, and having a job on top of it is just like, oh girl, it's literally like 2 full-time jobs. It's hard to give you guys content all the time. If I didn't do that, trust me, I'd move to LA and start anew. I'd become a full-time influencer. I'd be at Coachella rolling up with, this would be my fit at Coachella. Just something so basic. People, okay, dude, I was looking at the Coachella fits. People are getting flamed. And honestly, some of them are really cool. But let's be real, most of the Coachella fits, they're trying too hard. Girl, just throw on some like a good outfit. It doesn't have to be like this elaborate thing. I feel like everybody wants to see their favorite celebrities pulling up in like this like crazy get up, and that's just not it. Or they're like roasting, like celebrities will go to Coachella and they'll be like, "Okay, I'm doing pretty much an ad for whatever clothing company is dressing them." And they don't get to choose how they get dressed. Like, it's up to the clothing companies. And bro, people are getting flamed for it. I'm like, collect your bag. Like, who cares about the fit, girl? Get your money up. No, yeah, I would kill to go to Coachella. I was looking at the lineup for Outside Lands this year, and it is insane. Role Model is going to be there. And if you know one thing about me, I am in love with Role Model. I know I said I was in love with Two Hollis, but honestly, sorry, he's like on the sidelines. Like, Tucker will always be the number one in my heart. Tucker and Hamza are like probably, they're just my dream men, but you know, Tucker's going through a heartbreak and Hamza's like, I'm not going to get canceled here. We're not going to feed into all the rumors that are going around. But I believe him. And I ship it. Guys. Guys. I'm filming this so late. It's 4 p.m. right now. And usually I film this around like 11 or noon. But it's 4 p.m. So I'm so sorry. Dude, I feel like I'm going to lower the mic volume. I apologize. Headphone users, I apologize. It's saying I'm going into the red territory where I'm not supposed to be. You know? It says I'm being a little bit too loud, which is the case a lot of the times. Also, new skincare. My skin looks great. Thank you for noticing. I know, it looks awesome. I feel like this side of my room where I film is the worst side of my room, and I hate it. It's like the worst side of my room. I don't know if I've ever given you guys a room tour. I'm not going to do it right now, but there are so many better parts of my room that I could film if the lighting was right. The light only faces this way, and then I have all the clothes I have to donate. My yarn, my basket of yarn, because I'm an old woman and I'm trying to learn how to crochet. I love hobbies. I'll get to that in a moment. And then my typewriter, because I'm a little hipster girl. And then all of the stuff like this. Oh, girl, that made the lighting bad. This is a teeth whitening kit that I've been really pumped about. I'm not going to say who it's from, like what company, because we don't want to give out free plugs here, right? But just notice. But just look and take a look at these. Pearly white. Yeah, celebrity level. Almost. I have about 3 more days till I reach that. But it's been working wonders. And I didn't drink coffee today. I only had one matcha about like 2 hours ago. Really good matcha. It was okay. No, it was good. I don't know. I'm not like I love matcha. I'm just like, I feel like when people talk about it, I feel a little bit left out. They're like, I only drink this matcha if it's ceremonial grade. What does that mean? What does that mean? When I make my matcha, it's like the most convenient way I could possibly make it. I don't have the whisk. I just use, you've seen me. You saw the way I make matcha. Nobody had any complaints about it. Maybe you guys just don't. Maybe you guys know less about matcha than I do, and I'm sitting here like self-conscious about it, but hey. You know who you're talking to? I actually make it. Anyway, guys, I've been feeling lately just like copacetic. Like everything's in line pretty much. I'm just like neither here nor there with anything. I'm just kind of floating on by. I think that once school is over, I'll be happy. You know? Maybe once I find a stable romantic partner, I will be happy again too. I need that little fling in my life, that little like flare. It's been too long. So we won't get into that. Sometimes I like want to talk about things and then I remember my mom watches the podcast and it like makes me like self-conscious about like I am an adult. I am an adult, don't get me wrong. I don't live with my mom, but sometimes I'm like, damn, maybe she knows too much if she watches this. She probably doesn't even watch this. Did I ever talk about Odessa in my vlog? And she never told me if she, or in my podcast, and I was like, hey, Odessa, did you watch this? I don't know if it was her. She never said anything to me. Interesting. A liar and a dirty cheat. Just a bit of, just interesting observation that I made. I look so white on camera right now, and I swear I've been tanning. It's not doing anything. This is when I want the brown genetics to like come in. I am so jealous of the people who have, I was gonna say the people who are biracial, and then I felt like I was like hitting, like, I'm so jealous of biracial people, but I like literally am biracial. I'm just white. I wish biracial people problems. Tell me right now. If you are biracial and you are just white, no brown in you. None. How does that make you feel? I'm jealous of the people who are just like have like that tan where they don't have to go out and tan, but then they have like light eyes banging. They just look naturally tan. It pisses me off cuz I'm just like pale over here. Pale and blue eyes. What am I meant to do with that? What am I meant to do with that? Guys, be honest. No, it's fine. It actually is fine. I'm just hoping that the melanin kicks in later in life. We all know how white people age. It's poor. I've been really up on my skincare lately. Been really eating better. Still haven't quite made it to working out yet. The most is I walk around on campus. I walk around at work. And then I do some hard labor at work. Like, I am moving around all night. I'm holding heavy things all the time, but like, okay, there's some tone there. Stop. No, that was gross. Anyway, I want to be toned. There's this episode of Rachel from Friends, and I think I saw on Instagram or like TikTok or something, and somebody was like, I want to be as toned as her in this episode. And she was like, oh my god, beautiful. It was like perfect. So I think I might hit the gym again, because these little arms, they're not doing very much. They're pretty much just able to hold a matcha and a microphone and some keys, a purse, and plates at work. Like, girl, if you tried to tell me I am like strong underneath this, I'm kind of what they call like a sleeper build. I can like move my whole bed. I can move furniture, no problem. Like, no problem. I don't need a man to help me move furniture, but if they're offering, look how tiny my arms are. Please, I can't do it. No, I always let on that I'm weak. I always let on that I'm weak, but I'm not weak. What is like the proper phrasing of that? Like, I always let on that I'm weaker than I am. Yeah, I think that's like the right? Because I don't let on that I'm stronger than I am. I'm weaker than yeah. No, that's right. Hold your horses. That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the gym again solely for the aesthetic, because I'm willing, I can lift. When I was little, I used to be so like proud of like how strong I was, but I also went to the gym consistently when I was, dude, why was she working harder than I am now? Genuinely. When I was 12, I was hitting the gym all the time. I went to speed school. I played a sport. Granted, the gym was for the sport I was playing, But like, girl, and she was still so skinny. Like, here's the thing. I played softball for like 6 to 8 years. I don't know if I talked about that. And I was a catcher. So Miss Thing was doing squats all the time. Still didn't get a butt. Like, I feel like no matter what I do, I will never get a butt. And that's just how it is. So I had to burp, I'm sorry. So when I meet someone one day, I probably won't have a butt. So if you're watching this, my future lover, if you're if you're watching this right now, um I'm coming clean about it. I'm an open book. Seriously. I don't have abs, I don't have a butt. I Well, you saw my arms. They're a little toned if I try. Otherwise, they're like, oh god, how do I do this? Yeah, like that. Like that could go away. I made a whole video the other day that I deleted. Guys, I'm so sorry. I keep making content and then deleting it because I just don't think it's that good. I need to stop doing that. And I need to just give it to you guys to analyze if it's good or not. And if it's not, I'll do better. I made this whole video though the other day where I like sat down and ate. I like cooked a whole meal and ate. And I was like talking about eating disorders because I've suffered from eating disorders and really bad body dysmorphia. But I do feel like the older I get, the more comfortable I am in my skin, and I think that's true of most people. I think that there are things I can work on, definitely, always. But I'm pretty content with like where I'm at. I've definitely had like relationships and friendships where I felt pretty insecure about my body in those. But I think it's getting better. I won't lie. I'll be open about this. Um, but like not everybody, I feel like not everyone also talks about eating disorders being unintentional sometimes. But I don't know if that would be considered disordered eating. You know what I mean? Because whatever that is, I feel like that's what I suffered from. You get to a point where it's like, I love food. You can ask anyone around me. I love food. I will die on that hill. I love to cook. I love to bake. I love consuming food. I am what they call a big back. I love it. Literally, Jocelyn and I were at brunch the other day and she ordered a breakfast burrito. This isn't that crazy of a thing, but she ordered a vegetable breakfast burrito with pepper jack cheese. Delish. And we had sweet potato fries and pancakes as well. They were in the middle. And he brings the ranch out. And I was like sitting there eating the burrito. Oh, look at the ranch. All right, put it on. And Jocelyn goes, how'd I know you were going to do that? And I was like, damn. How did you know? How did you know I was going to do that? It was like fine. I thought it was going to be more fire than it was, but it was just like, it tasted like ranch on a burrito. Like, it didn't taste like, don't get me wrong, ranch, one of the best condiments. Oh my god, I've been really into condiments. I don't know why recently I've been loving sauces and condiments. One thing that I will die on, if you don't love mayonnaise, why did I say it? If you don't like mayonnaise, I don't know if I'm saying it weird. It feels like I am. Mayonnaise. If you don't like it, you're not going to agree with this opinion. If you love mayo like I do, most people I've talked to have pretty much been neutral on the subject. They're like, yeah, it's good, but I only really use it on like sandwiches or like whatever to like add a little hint of something. Listen, that's not me. Like that I could respect that opinion. They love it on a burger. Awesome. Lit. But they're a little too neutral for me. I love mayo, and I will put it on just about anything I can. My favorite thing in the world that my mom put me on ever since I was like a kid, ever since I still am a kid, ever since I could like eat, I feel like she put me on steamed broccoli and mayo. I just like keep burping. I don't know what's going on. Broccoli, steamed broccoli, Dip it in some mayo. Eat it on up. Now, before you say anything, have you guys had artichoke with mayonnaise? It's the same, but better, in my opinion. I think it tastes really good. Like, better than anything. Anyway, that's just about that. I love it with my whole heart. But I was watching... I also have, like... Oh, my God. It's, like, almost bad how much I love men. My friend Gavin was telling me the other day. We were talking about guys. And he was like... Can you just, like, promise me that you'll start, like, hating men a little more? Not actually. Like, come on, he's a man. Like, not actually. But, like, just be a little more weary of him. Not hating, but just have your guard up a little more, Grace. I'm a victim of that. I have too pure a heart. I just think everyone can be good if they tried. Which is true, I think. I think everyone can be good if they tried. Y'all just need to put in the effort. I think I'm a pretty decent person. I try to be nice. But I also read that good people, or if you weren't a good person, you wouldn't question if you were a good person, right? So that's the first step. Maybe take a look within. Anyway, I was like really stalking Jack Schlossberg's interviews the other day. Wow, that's a lie. I was watching edits of him on TikTok. I was consuming some academic interviews that he's completed. And in one of them, he was talking about his love for mayonnaise too. And I was like, damn, maybe this is meant to be, you know? Think about it though, genuinely, like think about it. If you were eating aioli, some garlic aioli, some basil aioli, some lemon, like whatever the case may be, that's mayo. That's just flavored mayo. You're just eating a bunch of different flavors of mayo. And then you're sitting here saying that mayo is just not good enough for you. It's just not good enough. You're dead wrong. You were dead wrong. Do you think the price of mayo will go up because the eggs are really expensive? I haven't really thought about that. I'll check in with that because I have to buy some soon. But I feel like it's pretty much... I actually don't even know how it's really made. I know it's like eggs. Huh. Interesting. I will have to look that up. And then you have like... I don't know. I just don't want to get into it all right now. Like, I don't really want to talk about this anymore. Let's get into the advice segment. I'm just yapping about random things. Advice from you guys. Guys, you can submit your advice, and I will do my best to help you out, okay? With the limited expertise I have on living life, and the trauma that I've gone through, and what I've learned from it. Period. Let's get started. Also, these are always anonymous. I was doing math homework on the back of this. These are always anonymous. I wrote them down on paper because when I put my phone to the microphone, it makes an awful buzzing noise that I'm sure you've heard. And it doesn't matter how, like I could think the phone is far enough away, but if it's within 3 feet of the microphone, for some reason, it just, like, makes a terrible noise. It's awful. Okay, number 1. Someone needs advice on overcoming boredom. Guys, this has been said too many times before, but I'm going to repeat it for you. You need to be bored to be creative. When you are bored, you should not be consuming things. You should not be consuming books or movies or videos. That's the worst if you're like doom scrolling when you're bored, because that's just going to make you a little bit sad. Think of it like this. Your body, when you need to eat, it tells you you're hungry. That's not a great feeling. So what are you going to do to quench that? You're going to eat. If you're thirsty, you're going to drink. If you're bored, your brain's telling you that you're not stimulated enough. So what do? That's the perfect time to be your own stimulation. Sit down with a pen and paper and listen to this. It's crazy. You can be creative. And, sorry, this sounds so condescending, but I'm like just trying to be funny. Oh my god. And it says I'm going into the red again. Every time I laugh, it's like too loud. Sit down with a pen and paper, and you could write a short story. You could write music. You could draw. But you need to use that time to express yourself and create something. Creatively. Creatively is the word. When you're looking for boredom, you're looking for creativity. So if you're into music, maybe start getting more into music. I'm learning how to play guitar and I'm trying to sing. I'm going to need lessons. I'm pretty sure I will need lessons. But that, I love to crochet. Am I good at it? No, I can only use like the stencil thing that they give you. I like art. Am I good at art? Like you don't have to be, I don't know, you don't have to be good at something in particular. But you should be doing something. Every person should have at least one creative hobby, I feel. And if you don't, you should look into that. Because you should find the right balance between consuming and creating. What you consume only gives you more material to use when you want to create something new. If you watch a good movie and you feel inspired enough to sit there and write a review, even that's something, you know? That's something. So just find a good hobby. Like, I know that's the most basic answer, but genuinely, you won't be bored if you do that. And also it's good to be bored because that's when I get my best ideas every time. Why do you think I'm doing this podcast for you guys? I like start to become one of those people's like, I gotta do this podcast, talk for an hour, you know? I'm just kidding. I actually like doing this. It's just, it could be, I just am busy. I'm sorry guys. I really am just busy. I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you or like that's what's going on here, because it's not. I'm just busy. I want to dedicate a lot of time to you guys, but like unfortunately I do have to go to school and work. Like, it sucks. Trust me, I hate it too. But yeah, that's the advice I have to give you for that one. Next, I'm gonna I have enough time. This is my podcast. Who am I joking? I could make this as long as I want. We could do whatever we want here. There's no adults. Okay. How do I tell my friend he's hella annoying, but a good guy? He acts like a jealous boyfriend whenever I'm with it cut off, but I'm assuming someone else. Listen. I wouldn't tell him like that. Like, I wouldn't be like, you're annoying. You're the issue. No. Don't do that. Always, whenever I'm bringing up something, I use I statements because I don't want to speak for the other person. I think that could apply well in this situation here. When you're like, I think that you should put up some boundaries with this person. I think you should be like, hey, I value our friendship. I think that you're a great guy. But I have found myself getting a little bit it's a little overbearing. I found myself getting a little bit, yeah, this is a difficult one. I found myself getting a little bit annoyed, and maybe I feel like maybe my needs are not being met or I'm being overlooked when you start, no, you can't say you. I feel like I'm not being respected because I have friends outside of our friendship, and that's okay. And that's a good thing. And I would expect the same of you. I do value our friendship more than most, if that's the case. But I think you also need to give me a little bit of room to breathe. I think I need a little bit of space here. And it feels difficult when you blah, 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 when you are acting like a jealous boyfriend. Don't say it like that. Find a better word. But you could be like, hey, this doesn't make me feel great. And I'm going to put up this boundary. If this is going to continue to happen, this is behavior that I don't really appreciate. First of all, that's something that he needs to work on his end. If he's a great guy, like you're saying he is, or a good guy, then he should be receptive to what you are saying if he cares enough about your feelings. If he cares enough about your friendship, which it seems like he does, jealousy is something that one person needs to work on. If I'm jealous of, let's say for example, I'm jealous of like the girls my boyfriend is hanging around, for example. I don't have a boyfriend. This is a made up situation. That's not my boyfriend's issue. You know what I mean? Let me put myself in your shoes, in his shoes. I'm sitting here jealous that you are hanging out with other people because you're my friend. That's not your issue. That's his issue that he needs to work on his own. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like that's not acceptable behavior, I don't think, in any relationship. I don't think jealousy is a good thing. I think while it's natural to experience jealousy, you shouldn't act on it. Um I've been jealous before multiple times. I won't lie to that. But also it's something that I worked on. And it sounds like he might be a little bit insecure in your friendship. Um I It took me a lot of learning and growing to realize that I didn't need to be jealous of people. I could make that happen. If I was jealous of a way a girl looked, what am I going to do to change that? You know? Nothing. I could either sit and be jealous of her, or I could go up to her and be like, "I love the way you look," and then we could be friends. You know what I mean? You can flip the script on that. It doesn't have to be that this person is jealous. So, that's the advice I have to give you there. I would bring it up in a conversation that's very neutral. I wouldn't like attack him about it because it's a normal emotion to feel FOMO. I've been on that. I've been on both ends of this and it sucks. I'm sorry. But like I said, if he's a good friend, he's willing to hear you out, then it's all good. I wish you the best with that. The next one. Um I feel overbearing to my friends and I don't know what to do. Maybe distance is best. Yeah, take a few days off. If you feel like you're overbearing, that's something you need to work on a little bit for yourself. You don't want to feel like that. If they're your friends, there are three parts to this. A, if they're your friends and they make you feel like you are too much for them, that's an issue within itself. B, if they are not open to talking about it, then those aren't your friends. And C, we all feel a little bit too much sometimes. And sometimes that's valid. That's valid. But it's also valid for them to be like, you are being too much and I cannot deal with this right now. I have my own stuff going on. That's happened. I've seen that happen. I have been in I am always in your exact situation. I am a lot. And I realize that I have a very big personality. I have a small friend group, but I've curated my friend group. So this sounds like very manipulative. I've surrounded myself with people who I know are willing and able to handle me at my best and my worst and when I'm too much. And I'm so extremely grateful for them. But I would be doing the same thing if I were in their shoes. I also have friends who I think like I can't deal with every single issue that they have. Sometimes they need to fix it for themselves. And sometimes, yeah, distance is needed. Like I'm a very anxious person generally, and Jocelyn, my best friend, she is also a very anxious person. The way that I deal with anxiety and the way that she deals with it are not the same. So sometimes when she's sitting there and being anxious about something, all I can do is sit back and be like, I'll listen to you and I'll be here for whatever you need, but I'm not going to sit here and give you advice because I know that's not what you need. I'm a person who seeks out advice, where I'm like, I'm freaking out about this. Can you please tell me what I can do to like make this situation better? Like what I can do, like constantly like outsourcing things. She's not the same. She just needs somebody to vent to and then we'll move past it. So maybe even learning that much more about each other can help you. I think it's definitely something that you should bring up to your friends. Like, hey, I feel like I'm being too much. I'm maybe a burden. I'm being overbearing. What can I do to help you, to help this whole situation? Like, what's going on here? And if they can give you an honest answer, even if it hurts, that's a good friend. If they're like, hey, I need like maybe a week of us being apart and we can reconvene once you've figured out your stuff and I figured out my stuff, like a good friend will be there for you and they'll give you an honest answer with that. That's all I have to say. If they don't, bye. Bye. Next. We have about 3 more to get through. Oh my gosh, how are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing great. How did you build the confidence to post on YouTube? I want to do that, but I'm scared. I still don't really have the confidence to post. I just keep doing it because, Okay, the first video I posted on here, I was so terrified of what people would think. I'd be like, they're gonna think I'm so stupid for like posting a video on YouTube. But luckily, again, I surround myself with people who are so kind and are also like doing kind of the same stuff. Like I have a lot of friends who are musicians who post music videos and play shows in person. I have a lot of friends who are very involved in art and video production and are constantly like posting things and whatnot, like putting themselves out there. So for me, I don't think that it was that difficult. I definitely wouldn't be doing this a year ago. I definitely wouldn't have done this maybe 3 years ago. Like now is the perfect time where I've actually felt comfortable enough with my friend group and the people in my life who have just been so supportive of me, um, which I'm so extremely grateful for. Like that, I think has been my saving grace here, honestly, is that people, and especially like the community on here, like I see the same people who comment on my videos. Like I saw one the other day that I was like so flattered, but also a little bit like someone was like, I gatekeep this channel. And I was like, damn, I'm gatekeeping level. But no, please don't. Like, spread it to your friends because, like, come on. Come on. I'm trying to move out. No, but genuinely, that's helped me a lot with the confidence. I think you gotta just go for it. Like, confidence, and the thing about confidence and, like, being brave about things is, like, I'm scared, but I still do it. And that's what that is. You have to still just go for it. And if you don't, you're gonna regret it. It sounds like you really want to do this. Do it. And if people shame you for it, oh well. I've gotten a hate comment here or there. I've gotten, even my sister last night, I was like talking to her and I said something about my podcast and she went, "You still do that?" I was like, "Okay." Yeah. No, it's fine. I think that you got to just like do it for yourself if not anyone else. That's kind of what I'm doing it for. Like I said, these are all my own thoughts. I'm kind of just doing whatever I want, and people either like it or they don't. And people who like it are making it known, which I appreciate. I love it. And it's like my little group over here. I love it. My little group of people. I hope you post something. I hope to see it. Let me know when you do. This one is crazy. This one is genuinely crazy. I don't really know if I have an answer for this because I'm not a man and I've not really been in a situation like this. This person says, I can't get an erection when my girlfriend is naked. What should I do? There is so much to dive into here. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. Obviously, like, your girlfriend has to know, right? Like, it's not working out the way it should or the way you feel it should. Maybe you got to switch things up. Maybe you need to have an open conversation. I'm just very much about communicating. Like, you really got to nail that. You really got to, like, do that. You got to communicate better. So first, get on the same page. Like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but I cannot get an erection. I'm sorry. And then maybe switch it up a little bit. Maybe do some things different. Maybe look at your diet. Maybe go, I don't know. It could very simply just be that you aren't attracted to them anymore in a sexual manner. And that happens sometimes, but maybe you need to just like I said, change things up. Or maybe there are some things that aren't being addressed and your body is telling you that. Maybe the relationship needs a little more help than just that. I wish all the best to you. Maybe seek a doctor if needed. Last but not least, this one was the most important one that I wanted to dive into because I think it's going to take the longest out of all of them. It's going to be a longer episode. This one I can relate to a lot, and I have a lot to say about it. What's your advice for getting over your ex and there wasn't any closure? I it took me a long time to get over my ex. Um and from what I've learned, I've only ever been in one relationship, and it took me a very long time to kind of get that out of my mind and be in a place where I felt like I was able to date other people, or to be happy with myself, or to just kind of like accept that things were over and they were never going to be the same and that I was out of the situation. And I didn't have textbook closure. My advice is that you sometimes, most times, when relationships end, not every relationship is going to end on good and healthy terms. And you just have to accept that and create your own closure. I had to create my own closure. I was lucky enough to make friends with somebody who had been in the exact same situation as me, and we were able to kind of give each other that closure. But it took me a long time to realize that the relationship ended for a reason, and it didn't mean that I was any less valuable of a person. And it also helped me realize like what kind of person I was and what I expect for my next relationship. I think that, to paint a picture for you, in my experience with my only relationship that I've ever had, I was with this person for a year and a half, and I was very like dead set on being with this person. It was very serious in my eyes of a relationship. I was the one who ended things. I ended them briefly and bluntly, and without like spilling too much and like too much trauma on here, I'll like give you guys a little bit of background. I was with this person a year and a half, and I had found out that they had been cheating on me or that I was the other woman. And I had found out that they had lied about multiple things and continued to do so when I confronted them about the situation. So when I stopped talking to them, I still didn't have the full truth. I didn't have any closure on anything. I didn't quite understand how someone could cheat on me. I didn't understand how someone could tell me that they love me and not mean it after a year and a half of being together. Like explicitly say that they've never loved me. I didn't understand those things, and I still don't. But now I realize that that's not a problem on my end. That wasn't something that I could control. The only thing I could control was leaving the situation. It took me multiple times to do so, and then when I finally did, it still didn't feel like everything was cut and dry, or that things were completed, or that I got like a satisfying ending out of it. I was severely depressed for like a few months, and then like very much doubting myself because I didn't have that closure, until I started creating it for myself. Thinking things like, this relationship ended for a reason. I can understand these reasons why it ended. I do still care about this person somewhat to a certain extent, although they've hurt me so much, like the X amount, whatever. It's not an easy thing to do when you care about somebody that much and then things just end and you kind of just, that's that. Like, what? like you're telling me that's that and we're done and we're never going to talk to one another ever again. But sometimes, most times, all times, actually, that's what's best. If it ended for a reason. And you can take these things that you've learned in your past relationship and apply them to the things that you expect in your new relationship. It's unfortunately all about trial and error. I'm excited. This is something that I've had to learn. I'm excited to meet someone who can meet my standards and not leave me out in the rain. I'm excited for someone who I'm not scared to open up to. I'm not scared to express my feelings towards. I'm excited for someone who treats me good. And that's all the closure I need. I have this is like genuinely something that I've been dealing with for like so long, is just like my thoughts on the whole thing. I still don't understand it. I still don't have like textbook, like the textbook definition of closure. I don't. But I don't need it because I know that from the things that I've seen in the relationship, from the things that I've experienced firsthand in the relationship, that I didn't deserve that. Were there things that I could have done better? Absolutely. I feel like that I can always do better in a relationship. But then you have to take a look in within yourself, and you have to look like, what do you bring to the table? For me personally, it took me a long time. I got out of this relationship and I believed the things that he had said, where he was like, you're never going to find someone better than me. You're not anything without. Like, you believe these thoughts, right? And it's all going to plummet. You believe that this person isn't going to give you closure, and it's all going to plummet. You don't need it. You really don't need it. 9 times out of 10, most people don't get closure. And if it's just like the relationship didn't end the way you expected it to, I don't really think that closure exists, honestly. I think that you kind of have to find your own ways to move on. For getting over my ex, I was just like, yeah, I really understood that that was not the way I wanted to be treated. No matter how much I cared about someone, I wasn't going to allow another person to treat me like that again. And I was going to hold higher expectations for my next partner because I hold those same expectations to myself as a girlfriend. I know that I'm funny. I know that I'm intelligent. I know that I'm somewhat attractive. I know that I'm a caring person. And if I were to be someone's girlfriend, I would be the best girlfriend that I was able to be. And that is what you should expect from your partner, or whatever your standards are. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I deserve to have these things. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, which sucks. And I know exactly how you feel, I think, to some extent, because I have a very hard time, like, giving up on people. I have a very hard time. I'm sorry, I keep burping. I have a very hard time just, I suppose, just letting go of a person when I know that there's a lot of potential there. Very difficult time. And I usually can clock what people are about pretty quickly. I would say that I'm a very intuitive and emotionally in tune person. Like, I can understand if someone doesn't want to talk to me. I can clock that. You know what I mean? Like, that's besides the point. I am very, very loyal to a fault. Like, bad. And, there's a reason in my past relationship, it took me 5 times to break up with that person. Disregarding the abuse. It took me that long because I constantly felt like this person can get better. And that can lead to harmful expectations of someone, but also, like, it's not bad that you're seeing the good in people. You are not bad for that. Maybe a little naive. I certainly am naive in that area, but it does teach you new things. It took me a long time to get over my ex. It took me not as long as I thought it would, honestly, but you really have to just see the reality in it, unfortunately. Like, that's just what it is. Why did your relationship end? If you can list 5 reasons, not even 5 reasons, if you can list 1 reason why your relationship ended, whether it be like long distance, we just couldn't do long distance, so we had to break up. That sucks because your relationship might have been so great and then you just like stop talking over one thing. That sucks. But if it's not suiting you, it's not suiting you, and that's reason enough, honestly. It does really suck because I'm the same way. I'm like willing to make almost anything work, but not to the point that it's going to hurt me drastically. Like, I'm willing to compromise. I'm so down to compromise on things. I am so down to make things work. I would rather make things work than have to start over with someone new again and again and again. But sometimes you need to learn when it's right to let go. Unfortunately, it sucks. It sucks so bad. I hate even the thought of that. I hate the thought of saying goodbye to someone. I hate the thought of not having someone in my life. But I found that You have to trust yourself to make the best decisions that you can. I'm going off on pretty much a whole side tangent here because I had a lot to say about that. It just brought up a lot of thoughts. But you have to trust yourself to make the best decision for yourself and the relationships and the people that you surround yourself with. I had friends who I had been friends with for 10 years and longer that I had to cut out because the friendship wasn't suiting me and it was harming me more than it was benefiting me. And it sucked to do because it's that's somebody I care about so much. But at the same time, I know that it's not going to get any better. So it's time to walk away from this situation as much as it hurts. It's time to do better for myself. And part of looking out for yourself is self-discipline, unfortunately. That is just something that you have to do. You got to look out for yourself first. You can't let the idea of your ex stop you from living, because sometimes that's what they want, and that sucks. But that's what I have to say about that. DM me. We can talk more about this. I want to know more about this. I want to talk your ear off about this. I want to hear what you have to say. But yeah, it sucks. I don't date for that reason because I'm so picky about the people that I decide to even pursue romantically. There's a reason that I don't talk to a lot of people. I'm very, very, very picky. I have my standards set. And so when it doesn't work out, it just hurts that much more. And that's part of the reason I don't date. If I'm being completely honest. That is a big part. But yeah, that is all I have for you today on the advice segment. That's all I have for you today on the podcast. I hope you guys could take something from that, from what other people have said. I'm sure everyone has some things that correlate with this. Is that a word? Correlate? Yes, it is. And yeah, that's kind of all I have for you today. That was kind of hard hitting at the end. But listen, here on this channel, if you're watching me, you're going to look out for yourself. Okay, boy? Y'all need to do better for yourself. Genuinely. First and foremost. That is... Yeah, living with a person forever, having a wife or a husband or a partner, lifelong partner, sounds pretty awesome. Someone that you can have you can witness that you guys build a life together and witness that together is awesome. But at the same time, you live with yourself permanently. You have yourself for the rest of your life. So you might as well get along with that first. Honestly, look out for yourself. That's the first relationship. That's the first priority. You need to be selfish. Not to I have allergies, my nose is itching. Not to a terrible extent. Don't be an asshole. But you can certainly look out for yourself more. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. I'm post this right now. I love you. If you're watching this, I just filmed this right now today. Okay. I love you. Bye.